the Seer. I hope you're doing well. This is your weekly tarot for November 1st through the 7th, 2019. Thank you for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. I know it's kind of a little step, but for me it's big. For me it's little. But we all have to start somewhere, right? It's been so much fun. So the first thing that we're going to do, I just have to say this. I had this little stand I put the card on, and you guys came up upside down. So let's see what's going to happen here. Unexpected visitors. And this is reversed. So it's been a little while since I got this card, so I just want to review it real quick with you, if you don't mind. It is a 41, so that would be a 5. And let's see here. So if you expect the unexpected, you'll be prepared for a miracle. That is nice, right? So when it's reversed, unpleasant news is only unpleasant when you resist something, when you resist accepting what is. Okay. Sometimes the thing most desired is kept away from you because it's not for the highest good of you or others. Sometimes there is loss or disappointment due to a destiny whose pattern cannot be understood yet. Change is something that may be forced upon you, like bad weather that threatens a boat. Adapt to the shift in conditions and think how beautiful the sky will be afterward. Accept what is, and a more fulfilling past will soon be revealed. Remember that if you expect the unexpected, nothing can come as a shock. Excuse me. So that might help with the question that you're probably having regarding why everything is going sideways or maybe reversed in your life, right? So, if you're having relationships and a lot of separations and a lot of situations that aren't working out, like separations in friends, like if you're having finding out friends betrayed you and stuff like that, and having to separate yourself for like safety's sake or sanity's sake, and maybe family, you're really getting to look at things. Sometimes that redirection is about getting to look at things, how your life really is, and who we're surrounding ourselves by. I don't know why that's coming through. It kind of felt like I've shed almost everyone in my life but my daughter right now. Everyone, my mom, closest person I had to me. I had to. Too toxic. But hopefully not forever. I really do. But I'm too codependent with her and let her get away with too much. So I had to draw a line somewhere. It wasn't the plan that So when I realized what was really going on, I saw it for what it is. That was painful, but it was also incredibly freeing. Okay, ready? Seven of Cups reversed talks about, this way when it's upright, it talks about like fantasy or imagination and kind of being lost. It could be a lot of things, but here's something I like. It's emotions. It's things in cups. So it's like maybe confusion, okay? On love or your feelings. Maybe you're feeling like, why do I feel this way? And why is this not working out? Stuff like that. Or why can't I choose? There's a lot of different reasons. Or who can I choose? Or why do I choose certain people? All these different things. Okay, when it's upright. That was a long explanation, huh? But when it's reversed, it's about maybe seeing things for what they are now and starting to understand where the truth is. Maybe starting to understand about the confusion. there's a thing that when we are scattered, our energy is scattered. So that can be from chaos, confusion. We're easier to manipulate. It's just something to keep in mind if you're, and being able to become balanced again, we need calm surroundings because we absorb our surroundings. We can't help it. Okay, next card is the Ace of Cups. This Ace of Cups reversed is about, it's about not having love. Love being delayed. A new start being delayed in a situation. Love not coming. Commitment not coming. Okay. Maybe not the right kind of love coming. But it all starts with self-love, okay? It starts with loving ourselves enough to demand the truth but it also starts, it's bigger than that though, see? It's about loving ourselves enough to ask, to really look at why things keep happening the same way and say, okay, what's my part? I know we talked about that. We talk about that a lot with you, Cancer, but this is just, it's here again. It's here again. And it's loving yourself first, and then you can love others. Loving yourself first enough to choose the best for you. Not put them first, but to put you first. Not in a selfish way, but in the way that what you would tell your best friend to do in her life or his life. What would you want somebody to do that they could have a good life and not? It's like we give ourselves away and then there's nothing left for us. And that makes us resentful. But then we kind of set ourselves up in a way because we've always done it that way. It's kind of like a codependent thing. And I really understood codependence this year because I realized how much I still was. And that's a tough one. When you think you've come so far and there's another darn layer, right? Anyway, moving on. Here's Page of Cups reversed. So this is like upright is like the apology card or the offer of love. So here's that love thing again, right? When it's reversed, no apology, no offer of love. But there's this thing for me that feels like dwelling on this too much at some point. Oh, I think that people will come back and apologize. I think a lot of us need to apologize either way because we want to have peace again. But this isn't the time, I don't feel like. It comes back to working on ourselves, and then those things will fall into place. I think we'll be amazed when we get past this cycle, a lot of us. So the Hermit reverse talks about, reverse is not being able to look at the patterns. Somebody here, it could be you, Cancer, or the opposite party, could resonate all or in part. I try to make sure I say that. But the Hermit, when the Hermit's reversed, this person is not separating themselves enough to go within and really look at the situation or the common themes. The same. If here's an example, all of my relationships have had A, B, C, and D going on. The common theme is that, and then me. Maybe it's the way I choose people or choose to love or something. It doesn't mean that their actions are right, of course. But it may be the reason why I tend to gravitate towards these people. Where in my life was that first occasion? When did that occur? And many times it'll occur with family members when we're children. And that's the thing to go back and go, oh, and then pieces start falling into place. So, but we have to separate, calm down so we can do that work. Somebody needs to do it in this. I'm not sure if it's you or you're the opposite party here. But somebody, maybe it's about you seeing them do the work. See, the thing that happens is we have to be in enough pain to look at things so we don't do them again. We go, okay, I don't want to ever go through that. And if it's part of my choice, let's look at that, right? So it's really drilling in on that. Whew. Goodness. Well, we'll buckle up, right? So, but this is good because it's work. It's shadows, you know, it's our shadows and other people's shadows. It's recognizing all this stuff, right? Nine of Wands reverse says, all right, is this worth fighting? Is this worth defending anymore? Is it worth, because, see, the obstacle's when it's upright. He's on his knees, but he's still, you know, he's still geared up. He has all of these successes behind him, things he's gone through and gotten through. And very well, you may have those, Cancer. But when it's reversed, you said, maybe this one is not worth fighting anymore. Maybe I need to look at, see what is worth fighting for, you see. Maybe this post, this stance, this idea, this person, this relationship, this job, this situation, this anger needs to be reconsidered, my stance on it. Maybe I need to think about that. If our happiness depends on someone else, then we've already given our power away. So, is this something we can move through successfully if we're the only ones participating? See, that's the way our life is. Once we depend on someone else to make us happy or do the right thing, if they don't, then they don't. We have to move on. We need to decide what works for us. Does it work for us to be still engaged in that? I know that's kind of hard, but that's what they're drilling home here, so you know I love you. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles says, oh, this is beautiful because this is tough. This is tough, you know. It's a tough love, daddy, mommy, you know. But then we have the Ace of Pentacles. This is the new opportunity, the new path of abundance. Is a promise of success if this work is done. But you know whose success is going to be? It's going to be your success. It's going to be the person that does the work. You know, and some of it is we just didn't see what work needed to be done. We didn't know how to go there, get there, be there. But now we do. We know more all the time, right? Okay, so let's talk about the truth, learning the truth, and that changing the decisions, right? The options. Well, Empress. So Empress is a divine feminine. So, talk a lot about the divine feminine and divine masculine. Now, if you are a feminine energy, Cancer, and this is your way to embody that energy. The divine feminine, she knows her power. She doesn't chase after anyone. And at some point, to just release people or step back when they're engaging and they have all this toxic behavior. And if we want a better life, we want to follow this example of just peace and knowing your worth, standing in your power, but not needing to fight, because you don't have to prove anything to anybody. We don't have to change anything. They're in charge of them, and if they can't see your worth, our worth, then maybe we should just step away. And that's a place of empowerment. It's like, okay. And if somebody is putting you in competition between you and another woman or man, then, stepping away takes away the power. But that's up to you. But if you step away, you're not the option anymore, you see? You're not an option. And we all have options. But that's a place of empowerment too. Okay, so next card. Here's a Two of Cups. So, you see what it's saying? This is I think you're getting the chills I'm getting. This is, 2 of Cups is the reciprocal love, you know. It's the twin flame, soulmate. It doesn't mean that it's not a hard relationship. We know that, right? But it's still, I think the advice here, Cancer, is if we can't come from a place of empowerment and love and kindness and embodying the divine feminine or the divine masculine, then we shouldn't be there until we can. No matter what relationship it is, we really need to think about how we're showing up and how others are treating us. This is a relationship of reciprocity, okay? And it is the way they start, but there's no reason why we can't make it last. Once we get through the big hurdles, but it doesn't mean giving ourselves away. It doesn't mean having nothing left for ourselves, because people don't respect that. We don't respect that in someone else because it doesn't show that they respect themselves, right? I know. Oh, can't make it up, right? 6 of Pentacles is about reciprocity. This is where we change things. We see this. We have the promise of a success, financial, relationships, abundance, new path, reciprocity. It does start with us. I mean, our parents' thing didn't start with us, and we have those things to overcome, you know. A lot of that is the family traditions, just breaking those right in half, breaking them. I didn't even see myself leave that. Okay, we'll look at that in a minute. But this is the Queen of Swords. This is beautiful, because this could be air, but I think this is all about the energies you're embodying right now. Queen of Swords says, well, I'm so sorry about that. She has this crown on, and she kind of reminds me of Lady Justice in some other cards, but she is about, she could be a widow, she could be a divorcee, she probably has kids, she could have her own business, but this lady, she doesn't take anything. No, she's not going to mess with it. You know, she's this sharp, here's what she is. She's not quite the Empress, but she's the sharp edge of the Empress. Does that make sense? That sharp edge. She's going to ask the questions. And what about this? What about this? What about this? But she's not going to talk just to argue. She likes to talk. She likes to communicate. But she's not going to play games. Oh, no. You won't take that to her because she'll see through it. Very nice, Cancer. Okay. So this one kind of got left behind. Oh, my goodness. It's the Lovers. So, this is the soulmate. Okay. It's a choice in love. It's a choice in love. Sometimes when the Lovers comes up, now here's some other ways to look at it, and so I want you to think about this a little bit, if you want. I mean, I think it's good though. All the divine, feminine, masculine readings tells you that this is 2 sides of ourselves. And we have to be able to embrace both sides of ourselves like this. Okay. And because a lot of times we're operating in, what do they call that when it's not the divine? It's the distorted masculine or the distorted feminine. So when we get shaken up and things go sideways, we show up as the distorted version. And that is not a place of empowerment. But there's a lot of things we didn't know before. But we're getting to know now. We're starting to understand now so much more. That you are divine no matter what anybody says or does to you. That's something they could never take away. And now that you know that changes everything. Or it can. By being in your power, showing up like the divine feminine, you understand what these twin flame and soulmate relationships are doing. They're making you better, although they send you sideways. They do. They bring you back to who you are, to where you have to take your power back. I know. What a way to go. Would we have listened otherwise? That's what we wonder, right? So, okay, how do I have to show up as a divine feminine? What do I have to do? Act like the Queen of Swords. Don't take any crap. You know what I mean? What do I need to consider? Reciprocity in relationship. This is just the first row here. Woo, it's so beautiful. We're in 20 minutes. Holy moly. Okay, beautiful. And this Lover's card was the one that was left behind. Now, a lot of these are triggers to fix. Some of it is even our family lineage. Some of it is the bad familiar, I can't say that word, patterns, family patterns in love. The ones that have helped keep us distorted, you know? I know you understand. Okay, Ace of Cups reverse. Let's talk about this. Eight of Wands is, well, it's no communication or bad communication. Or it could be moving to the wrong things, choosing the wrong things. Because upright, it's swift movement. But it could be no movement. Probably no movement more than that. But no communication. So sometimes when we have issues, we shut down. We stop talking. And the Wheel of Fortune is right here, though. And these do have a lot of signs that there's abundance everywhere. It's just work that needs to be done because you're already there. I don't know if you realize that you're already here. It's just cleaning it up. Pretty cool, huh? This is a promise of abundance to change your fate. But also you need to know that this is part of your fate. It had to have been done. It might have been written in the contract of your life if you believe in that. What if we had people in our lives, we loved them so much, and what if? Okay, just a what if. And we knew them on the other side, and we were spirits, and we said, you know, I love you so much, and I trust you so much, I want you to be the one that breaks my heart, because I know I have to do this. I have to do this part of my lesson for my soul growth, and I want it to be you, because I know how much you love me. What if you made a contract like that? And then they said to you, well, you have to break my heart too. Because it would make us grow. No matter what happens, we know we'll always be together. I know that's wild and crazy. But sometimes you wonder, right? I don't know why I said that. That's stuff I don't usually say out loud. But I wonder. Okay, back to the reading. Okay, so Temperance reverse is talking about not having balance and, you know, like the healing is not taking place. So connecting to spirit, you know, praying, and maybe you're already doing that, but connecting more, trying to understand that that the guidance is there if you can just ask for it and be open to it, and be open to this, maybe as a lesson. There's something about the bigger picture. The bigger picture. And you know what, I'm being guided to plant all these different seeds for you. In different ways. The bigger picture, the contract, the higher view of things, you know. The soul connection. So, because for you they're important. Here's the Emperor. So now look at this. We have, where'd that go? So we have the Empress and we have the Emperor. I don't know how this is going to play out. But I got chills again. Faith, even if the relationship that you're in pain going through, faith that the right one is going to come along, that's why you're being directed. It may not be this person, but that doesn't mean this isn't a soulmate. That doesn't mean this is a terribly significant relationship. That this person may be the best teacher you've ever had, you know? But there is success here. there is protection and order, and this can also say somebody's stubborn, but you know what? When I think it's coming up negative is when it comes up as the distorted masculine, not upright. This is good. This is saying the promise of the relationship is here. This work has to be done, though. The promise of the great bond, and that you'll understand so much more. But love is not going to escape you. It's not over. It's not over. And every person is different, but this is your life and relationship and love and kindness and understanding. There's so much more for you here. It's for all of us. Okay, the Hanged Man says it's the shift in perception that creates the change in fate. And I know you've come a long ways already. And so you understand that. So let's talk about the apology, the offer of love that we feel we should maybe get, and why it's being delayed or not coming. Why is there a lack of commitment here? Let's see what Spirit says. The King of Wands reverse is the lack of passion. It is this distorted way of bringing passion. So it's, maybe distorted views of sex, or somebody, maybe us giving, I don't know how to say this. Maybe the way people use sex to manipulate things, or to create relationships, or to stay in relationships, or to escape themselves. All the different ways that maybe sex has been used that hasn't been real productive for the human race and for love. Okay, I'm going to put it that way. So why is this offer not coming? Because maybe it's based on that right now. Maybe there's still too much of a distortion when it comes to that. Somewhere in here, and you're the other person. And again, maybe this is not the person, this was just a teacher. And all of that needs to be figured out. But it's about having faith to know if this is the person, and that this is their journey, and we have to do this. And if it's something that comes back, then it comes back. But that's the thing. There's a certain amount of detachment, so we can look at just our side. The pain doesn't go away. But to focus on that part keeps us there at a lower vibration. Okay, talk about the distorted sexual desire, distorted passion, let me put it that way. And then no passion. So on or off, right? Also, the lack of confidence in this whole situation. And lack of creativity. Did you know, and you might know this, that creativity and sex drive and all that come from the same place? I think it's the sacral chakra. So you can get a handle on distorted sexuality if you could become more creative. It helps you separate and start healing that. It's like amazing. Okay, so next card. Here's the Queen of Wands. Looks like we have both people that are somewhat distorted here. Okay? This is a set. And that's really important. So we look outside of ourselves for people to fix us, and we don't even realize we're doing that. Because that's what we've been shown, But now we know better. You have this distorted. And women, this is the thing that, think about our society. Women are looked at as either seductresses or, wives, and they're not excited anymore. And that's so awful. That we all need to look at things different, and we have to engage different, everything different. Not listen to something that's been handed down that didn't work. Wow, that's amazing. And then here's the Ten of Pentacles reverse. And this is the bad legacy that we need to leave behind. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I wonder if I'm on target, and then this comes up saying, oh, you got to marry. So this is thinking about how our family has done things, society has done things, how the distortion of relationships and the secrets and the bad legacies. We've talked about this before in your readings, how it's both sides, But you know how quantum theory works? There's this thing called spooky particles. I'm butchering it, of course. But basically, we're tied. You're at least tied to this person somehow, right? Okay. Minimum soulmate or something like that. Great teacher. But the quantum theory, that spooky theory, is what the particles were attached. Once they're separated, if one goes bad, the other one goes this, or one's turned upside down, the other one turns upside down. It's like you switch the positions. If one heals, the other heals. You see? If one blames, the other blames. And it's in different ways, but they're still connected. That's why a lot of the twin flame readings and stuff, they tell you, focus on yourself and get yourself better. Because it changes your outlook. But also, the connection we have not only to that other person, but to everybody, it helps heal all of us. Okay, so here's Six of Swords. These are my favorite cards. They speak so much. My energy connects with them so well. Six of Swords talks about moving to a better place. And Swords can talk about, and she's leading her own path. Nobody's taking her, And so she's leading herself to a better place. And she's proud. She's not hiding. She knows where she's going, and she has all of her thoughts and ideas. Especially going to a better place here. Okay, so let's talk about the Hermit reversed, right? This is about needing to take this time, somebody needing to reflect without scattered energy or chaos around. Now the Fool reversed is a couple of things. It could be not wanting to make the same mistakes again. And that's what it feels like here. Sometimes when it's reversed, it says not wanting to take a leap of faith. But the leap of faith here that needs to be taken is with your own healing or somebody's own healing. And so I think the smart thing to do would be not to just jump off like nothing's going on, because there is something going on that needs to be looked at. So this is, I believe, exactly where you should be. Four of Pentacles says, what do I need to do to build my own foundation to protect my own heart? There's nothing stingy about this or selfish. Some people say it's protecting. He's protecting this part of him. This is our important part. That's our heart, okay? And then, you got that solar plexus, and this is where our energy center is. I think, a lot of it's here. But also he has his pentacles. He has his things, the tangible things. Maybe I should hold things nearer to myself until I know somebody. There's so many things this represents. As a four, it represents your own foundation. Protection. And if it looks stingy to some people, well then, whose problem is it if somebody doesn't like what you're doing? And you're okay with it? Well then that would be their problem, right? Okay, not everybody's going to understand that, especially when your vibration gets higher. There'll be people going, what? And maybe someday they can figure it out, but maybe not. So next, now we have the Queen of Cups here. This is water, Cancer. So this kind of feels like it's just you in love, looking outside and going, I'm not giving up on love. Still having this calm, serene part of you that says, I know I can be the Queen of Swords, but I still have all this love to give. And the world's not so bad when I can see it and I can come back to myself. This is about self-love, getting to that place where, okay, I see now. It's forgiveness. Forgive them for they did not know what they... Forgive them for what... there's like this proverb, for they did not know. Forgive somebody if they did not know what they did. There is a certain amount of that when you go through this kind of awakening, especially for yourself. Like children when they're doing wrong, right? Like because somebody didn't have spiritual guidance, didn't have the right teaching. Or maybe was taught to do things wrong by the establishment, by the family. Just because it's the way they did it didn't mean it was the right way. Reversed, it's about, you may find yourself going against the grain, doing what people don't understand. But the warning here, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think that's great. You should challenge everything. If that's what you want to do, that's what I like to do. But I don't have to fight everything, but I can question it, you know. Also, but please make sure, if you choose your own path, that you know why you're there. And that you understand that you have guidance, like your spiritual guidance. Because then, even rebelling, all of our paths, we can get lost easily if we're not coming back to a place of center, you know, like spiritual guidance, like connected to our higher selves. Then it brings us back to that baseline, right? The baseline. Okay. And that's a baseline of peace, not chaos. Like if you have a chaotic environment and you start connecting with yourself, you end up with a baseline of peace, then you can see things clearer. It's like how you can see the mosquitoes on a smooth lake compared to a choppy one. Chaos versus peace, right? Get your water peaceful, your emotions calm, and then you can see things clearer. Okay, so let's talk about the Nine of Wands. This is 37 minutes, you guys. Sheesh. Anyway, Nine of Wands reversed. Not sure if that battle is worth defending still, right? The Star reverse says that you might have lost hope in what you were defending. And also could mean that may have been an illusion. What we thought, what we were told would make us happy, you know. And when this is reversed also, it's that spiritual guidance thing. It's being cut off from source. And once you get that smooth lake, that lake smooth, and where you can see everything, you'll know when something's getting you off course. But when you're in a boat, you know, like chaos, you can't feel it as much. That's why the peace is so important. You can tell when something is right. You can hear it coming a mile away. Okay. Strength. So this is not, you know, do you have the strength and to go on this? It's still part of this. I don't know if I'm strong enough to defend this anymore. But maybe that's the right place to be, right? Tell me what you think about that. But maybe you thought you were weak, but now you were just choosing the right path. You know what I mean? Like, I can't fight this anymore. Maybe you weren't supposed to. Maybe that was the right choice. You see how that changes everything? Is that, wow, right? The world reverse is, I know, not wanting this to end. Feeling like this can't be over. Well, we do this thing about separation, finality, and here's an example. It's like when you quit, like, I used to smoke years ago, you know, when I was like young and everybody smoked, right? But it used to make me, I knew eventually, I knew someday I would die from it, you know, so I didn't smoke that long. And what I would do is I would quit. And once in a while I'd pick it up and I'd quit. And I could even leave, when I would quit, I could leave a pack of cigarettes somewhere. And so I knew if I ever wanted them, they'd be there. But they'd be gross and stale, so I didn't want them. But the thing is that if somebody said, you got to quit smoking cigarettes forever, or whatever it was I was quitting at the time, then I would feel deprived. But if somebody said, you can get it again if you really need it, it'll probably be there. It changes the way you look at things. Nobody's saying that any situation is over forever. You know? And if you feel like you're permanently connected to someone, maybe it isn't. But it's a part of acceptance. Remember this said about acceptance. Once you can accept, then you can use that energy that you're pushing things from ending, or you're forcing things, it can be freed up for something else, for creation. We don't know what the plan is, but it's not being weak. It wasn't weak. It was the way it was supposed to go. There might have been no other way. What's interesting, huh? Let's see. We have death reversed too. So, we don't have the answers yet. But we know that the time out is important. You know that. Couldn't go the way it was going anymore. That's so interesting. But even if these were this way, there would be new cycles, and there would be a rebirth. So if you feel like you're not strong enough to release this, the resistance may be holding you back on that, because it's already been released. You see, that's what I'm hearing. It's just a matter of how you're looking at it. I know that's a hard one. It's also releasing the way we look at things. Beginning, endings, all of that, you know? But your life is so important. It's yours. So Ace of Pentacles, this is the promise of abundance, a new life, a new enterprise. Not new enterprise, but new opportunities, right? Tangible things. New jobs, new offers. Then we have Seven of Wands. So to me, in this position, I think it would be wise to consider what you're willing to defend. Because this is about defending your stance, and decide what you want in your relationships. Because as they come up, you're moving forward, right? And as you become more prosperous, you're going to have people coming at you. So you need to decide, if anybody comes back, anybody contacts you, where's the line you're going to draw? What are you going to defend? What are you going to allow? If you're going to embrace the divine feminine or the divine masculine, what is the right way to do things? To maintain your power here. Does that make sense? Or to gain your power. Okay. Little forethought and a little pre-thought or decision involved. Oh, here we go. Are you willing to put up with this sneaky behavior? The stealing? The deception? Or is that behind you now? It's a good question, huh? If this person came back and said, I'm changed, what are you willing to accept? That needs to be thought about. Because if you've had people showing up like this over and over again, it's what you're being challenged with too. I've had to do a lot of that thinking. Here's a page of Swords reversed. This is about bad news or lies. Let me get another card there. Okay, I think we got 3 of the pages now. Page of Wands. This is about oh, I see. Okay, this is about you know, an offer, no offer, and passion, but this is distorted again. It's like, what if somebody when somebody calls you up and says, you know, just try to have sex with you. I mean, that's just what it's saying. Telling you lies, deceiving you, and trying to have sex with you again. What are you going to do? Are you going to defend that? Are you going to confront it? Boy, talk about blatant. Because as you power up, it's going to happen. We're going into Mercury retrograde. You're being prepared. Oh my gosh. Decide what you're willing to put up with. And if you feel weak, don't consider engaging right now. Might not be the best thing for you. Because the next thing we have is a broken heart. So, this may be where the warning is coming to decide what you're going to defend, what you're going to go back to. If this is an illusion, use your inner guidance. Are you going to be strong enough to do the right thing? Is it over? Is this behavior over? Or are you going to keep engaging? Are you going to have the death and the rebirth or not? Wow. And that's your homework for the week. Wow. Good things, but some hard hitting. Remember, you're being guided in another direction for a reason. And we cannot, if our daily actions are not getting us to where we want to go every day, then we need to consider if that's really where we want to go, or if we need to have a better plan, a daily plan. And if we're giving in to these lower energies because of lust and because of fear and because of, or we're just used to giving ourselves away, then we can't get there either. The divine relationship, the divine being the divine feminine or masculine, because we're still living in the world of distortion. I love you guys. You're great. Have a good week.